Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So guys, I came up with this idea for a video a couple days ago. It just came to me and I thought it sounded like a pretty good idea. So if you're watching this video, chances are you're a big sports fan like me. You love sports. But with a lot of things that we love, there are almost always annoying components to them, and sports is no exception because there are a lot of annoying things that go along with the great things in sports. And these things that I've come up with, I think are things that annoy all of us, hopefully. So what we have here, what I've put together for this video, is my opinion on the top 10 most annoying things in sports. These things just infuriate me, and they're pretty common, or somewhat common. We've all experienced them if we've watched sports for long enough. Definitely make sure to comment your opinions, where you agree with me, where you disagree with me. You can debate the placement on this list, but this is just personally, in order, my 10 most annoying things about sports. Let's get into it without further ado. Here we go. So starting off the list at number 10, the 10th most annoying thing in sports is moronic fans. We've all seen them on TV. Maybe we've experienced them in real life. I'm talking about fans in an arena or a stadium that do stupid things like throw stuff on the field or the court. They streak, they come onto the field, or fans who just talk trash but like really rudely and get themselves kicked out. Just fans that get in the way of the fun experience of the sport. Just be a little smarter. Don't be a moronic fan. At number 9, now we're getting into the actual players. Number 9, I have players who don't improve. So what I mean by this is, in a sport, when there's a great player or a player that should be great but has one clear deficiency that they need to work on, but they don't get better at that, and they don't improve when a lot of us know and think that they should improve. A primary example of this is Ben Simmons, right? He's clearly a horrible shooter, and we all know, us NBA fans, that he's never going to be a great shooter, but the guy refuses to get better. There's clearly a thing he needs to work on in the offseason, but does not get better, and it's just an annoying thing that prevents this player from fully unlocking their potential. So when that happens, I get annoyed. All right, at number 8, although this can be comical and meme-worthy and the butt of a lot of jokes, at the end of the day, it's really annoying to see bad coaching and bad managing. I'm going to combine them together at number 8 because, look, the bad coaching and bad managing does not get the best out of their players and the best out of their team. And when you're preventing someone or an entire team from living up to their potential, that's annoying. However, it's kind of funny, with that being said, to make fun of coaches and also bad management. But at the end of the day, if your team is suffering from bad coaching and bad managing, it's obviously very infuriating. At number 7, this has been something that's been going on for a long time, but especially now with salaries at an all-time high. Overpaid players, they exist on almost every single team. A player that's making 30 million, 20 million, but it's a horrible contract. This happens all the time. It annoys us, and it causes us to, unfortunately, it makes sense to have a negative perception on a player, to think less of them or maybe dislike them because they're overpaid. An example, Russell Westbrook, right? I mean, you can come up with a million people, but as a Lakers fan, recency bias automatically comes to my head. A lot of Lakers fans do not like Westbrook, not only because he doesn't fit with the Lakers, but because he's clearly overpaid. He makes over $40 million, which is highway robbery. We've all experienced overpaid players, and it's annoying. At number 6, this is something that is higher on my list than it would have been like a year ago, but what's happened in the football season especially has inspired this. Terrible primetime games, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, or ESPN, TNT, NBA games, or Sunday Night Baseball. When there's a primetime game, it should be a good game, or else it shouldn't be on primetime. But when it is on primetime, you're probably going to watch, and I mean especially football, and how horrible have a majority of the primetime football games been this year, and how annoying is it? And just because you're an NFL fan or a sports fan, you force yourself to watch it, but you're wasting your time and wasting your life. So can we get some good matchups in primetime games, and can these players and these teams actually play an entertaining game? Because at this point in the NFL season, good primetime games are few and far in between. At number 5, players who get in trouble off the field or off the court. This is so annoying, especially when it's a great player, especially on your own team. This is a player that obviously has such an impact on a team, but they get in trouble with, whether it's with the law, they just do something off the field in the locker room, they just become a distraction, they become a negative component of the team off the field, get themselves in trouble, affect the chemistry of the team, hurt the perception of themselves, and ultimately the team usually has to pay for it, not just the individual player. So I hate when great players get in trouble off the field. Obviously, people like Calvin Ridley, Antonio Brown, I mean, way back, Gilbert Arenas, there's so many people, obviously. So players who they're getting paid so much money, just stay out of trouble, stay out of doing bad things outside of the sport you're being paid millions to perform well in, and you can't do that. That's so annoying. All right, at number 4, maybe I'm biased because I'm a Dodgers fan and I have to experience this on an annual basis, but when your team chokes, it's so annoying. You have a great team that should be winning a game because they have expectations, they should be doing well, they maybe have a large lead of some sorts, they have a game in their grasp, they should be doing better, but they disappoint, they blow it in horrendous fashion. That's really what choking is. You think of the 28-3 Falcons, Patriots Super Bowl, maybe the most famous example, but Clayton Kershaw, the Dodgers, almost every year. It's so annoying, and it's the reason why my life is a little shorter now, because it's probably taken a couple years off my life. So when your team chokes, so annoying. All right, we're now into the top 3. At number 3, this has been an issue that started within the last decade. It's relatively recent, but load management and resting of players, I hate this. You're getting paid to play the game. If you're healthy, you gotta play. I don't understand resting. Maybe the last game of a season in the NFL season when you've clinched your division or clinched something, maybe one game. But I hate when players rest a handful of games or don't play as much as they can because of rest. I mean, these are, for the most part, these are young human beings. These are athletes. They got to this point playing their sport. Why are they resting? Makes no sense to me. I hate load management. I hate resting. Back in the 80s and 90s, you would only miss a game if you were injured. And I mean really injured, not like a little hobbled. People would play players would play 82 games in an NBA season. Players would play 17 games or 16 games every year in the NFL season. 162 games in Major League Baseball used to mean something. Cal Ripken's streak of consecutive games played, AC Green's streak. These are streaks that will last forever because players don't value games played. They rest way too much. At the runner-up spot at number 2, speaking of missing games, injuries. I mean, injuries happen all the time in sports, so this is something you can't control. But they really are annoying because obviously injuries are still the primary reason why players miss games, and one significant injury can completely change a team's fate, change their season, and it changes everything, and it happens all the time. You never see them coming, and some players just cannot stay healthy. That's really annoying, so injuries are terrible. So what, in my opinion, is the most annoying thing in sports? This is just my opinion. Here we go. Drum roll metaphorically. Bad officiating. This is the most annoying thing in sports because at the end of the day, you take all the factors that I listed aside, the last 9 things. At the end of the day, the team that deserves to win a game is the team that plays better, whose players perform better, who is better coached, just does all the right things to win. But the one thing you can't control is bad officiating, and other than maybe injuries, but you know what I'm saying. You can't control bad officiating. When officials decide the game with bad calls, there's nothing like it. Fans hate it, players hate it, we collectively all hate it, and that's why officials get a lot of hate. Obviously, they're not trying to make the bad call. Hopefully not, unless, you know, we've had some examples of referees affecting or being paid to do a poor job. But aside from that, bad officiating is so annoying. We all know it as sports fans. When you make a bad call and you change the outcome of a game that you had no business changing, There's nothing more infuriating and aggravating, in my opinion, in my experience watching sports, than bad officiating. All right, guys, so those are my top 10 most annoying things in sports. I definitely want to hear your guys' comments. What are the most annoying things in sports in your opinion? Comment your top 10 list. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're a sports fan and you haven't done so already. And thank you so much for watching, guys, as always, and I'll see you all in the next one.